just as usual, go into your Shavasana. To connect to the body and to the moment a little more by just deepening your breaths. Scan your body and notice what areas might be tighter today, like your back or neck or even your legs. Now slide your right leg right, cross your left ankle on top. If you want to put a block under the hips, you can. Adding your arms, reach your arms overhead, grab your left wrist and pull it right. Good, and then switch. Grab your right wrist. Good, back to center and bend your right knee up into your chest. Squeeze it in on the exhales, compressing the front hip crease. Good. And now step that right foot on the ground and cross your left ankle on top of the right thigh. Pull your right knee in. So we're moving on to lying down pigeon, but your left leg is up this time. Take a couple deep breaths here. Now you can use the belt if you want, but try to extend your right leg now. Reach up with your hand and just climb up the leg with your hands, or use your belt around the foot. Great hamstring stretch, and you should feel this in your left hip also. One more. Good, and release everything down. Let's bend the left knee in, squeeze it in for 2-3 breaths. Good. Now cross your right ankle on top of that left thigh and pull in. We're working now on the right hip. Now extend your left leg up and get into the hamstrings again. All right, let's release the feet to the ground, pretty wide apart. Stretch your arms out and windshield wiper the knees side to side. But now next time your knees fall to the right, pause there. You can even cross your right leg on top of left. And then let's counter twist the upper body. So reach your arms to the left, maybe even grabbing right wrist and pulling into the left. Good, and switch. Knees fall left, upper torso comes right. Good. Back to center. Step your feet next to each other. Good. And let's just warm up. Take your arms overhead if you can here, if you don't have shoulder issues, and lift your hips up into a bridge. Squeeze your glutes and make sure your hips don't hang down. Push your pelvis up. Think of pressing your upper thighs where they almost meet the hips. Press those up. And that's how you get the glutes to engage. Good. And see if you can, instead of just coming down with the hips first, roll onto your upper back, mid back, low back. Good. And drop your knees apart. Soles of the feet connect, arms down by the sides. Take a couple breaths. Now, your feet are pressing together on the floor. Scoop your belly button up slightly, pubis up, and 15 times right from where you are with your feet, soles of your feet touching. Lift your hips. That's 2. Squeeze those glutes evenly. 3. Think of squeezing your outer glutes inward. 4. 5. 6. Shoulder blades relaxed. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 3 more. 13. 14. And 15. Lower down. Take your left leg into happy baby pose. Slide your right leg straight down. Take 3 breaths. And 3 breaths from when you are done setting up the pose. Go ahead and switch. All right, and release that. Come rocking up to seated position. Have your belt near you already and cross right ankle in front. I see some people getting belts, so if you already sit here, just begin to rotate your trunk. Tune into breathing again. Then one direction, maybe go the other as well. Good, and once we've all found our place here, let's grab the belt and take it into your left hand. Let's go right into cow face arms. And side bend to the right a little. Emphasize the spreading open of your left side ribs. One more deep breath. Good, come back to center. Make sure you don't just collapse your chest down. Lean your long spine forward and fold in. Good, when you're done, come up. Release the belt and let's go right into a different seated position. Right leg out to the right. Feel free to soften your knee. Arms up, inhale and fold forward. Come up on an in-breath and release. You can do this without a block, or you can sit on a block. I'll demo with the block. I'll just put it across the mat. I swing my right foot back, so I'm in a hero position, right foot by the block, and then lean slightly back and feel that stretch in your right quad. As you know, you can cross your left ankle to weigh down that leg more. All right, slowly come out of that, release, take out your legs, and come to crossing left shin in front of right. Grab your belt with your right hand this time, cow face pose. Shoulders over hips, and side bend right, left. Notice your mind, just kind of slow it down, bring it into the present moment to really notice what you're doing right now. Eventually bend forward. Good, back out of that. Release the belt. Left leg to the left, off center, bend the knee if you like. Inhale, tall spine, and fold in. After a few breaths here, come out, and let's set up the version you picked for your half hero pose. Tuck your left foot behind you. The block really helps, especially since we're not warmed up that much. Lean back, scoot the tail forward. All right, release, and let's move on to all fours. Do your arching and rounding here. Find that rhythm between the moving and the breathing. Do about one or two more. Good, neutral spine. Front rib slightly pulled in, and now stretch your right leg back, left arm forward. 5 times, knee and elbow together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good, lower the hand down and step your right foot between your hands. Now press the left shin, the back shin into the floor and lift your hands to the front thigh. So we have a low lunge with a raised torso. Now sink your pelvis forward and draw your navel center back away from that right thigh. Emphasizing that left front hip stretch. You can even press your left shin into the floor here and squeeze your glutes a little. 2 more breaths. Good, you have a choice between half split or pyramid. I like to get off my back knee right now, so I'm gonna lift my back knee to half split, but you can pick either that or to pyramid, either that or half split, and breathe. Three more breaths here. Feel like if you want to rock your hips left, right a little, like you're wagging your tail, it's a nice warm up for the hamstrings. All right, wherever you are, please take it to a down dog. Feel free to really tread it out here. Right, at some point, either lower to child's pose or shift yourself to a plank position, push-up pose. Make sure your butt doesn't stick up, sink your sacrum down, so your belly has to hold this pose. Inhale, exhale with a soft chest, lower your knees, lower your chest and lower flat to the belly. Press to cobra or up dog. And let's release into child's pose. Other side, come up to all fours. Tabletop. Stretch your left leg back and your right arm forward. 5 times, pull knee and elbow in. 1, 2, gaze at one spot. 3, 4, and 5. Right hand down, left foot steps between the hands. And set up that low lunge again. Make sure you don't let your low back arch, pull your core back, so engage you to resist into that stretch. Once done, half split, which is this, or pyramid pose, forward fold. Couple more breaths here. Good, and we'll take it once again back to downward facing dog. Stretch, your armpits are really broad here, and then stretch your chest back toward your toes and stick your tailbone up to the ceiling. All right, ready, right leg to the ceiling. Step your foot, again, between the hands, a little more to the right hand. Sink your hips fairly low and lengthen your torso. So no collapsing through your chest. Maybe you're on your fingertips now. Option 2, raise your arms forward and up, come to a lunge position. Fingers face the ceiling. So pay attention, this pose starts in your feet. Grip the floor with your feet. Make your ankles strong. Now lean forward and reach your arms back. Strong legs here, squeeze your glutes a little. Now you can always release the child's pose or down dog or raise your arms one more time. This time lower your left knee and hover it off the ground. An inch off the ground for 2, for 1, and back to downward facing dog. Take a break in child's pose or take a vinyasa, your choice. Left leg comes out when you're ready. Inhale and step the foot through. Make a long torso. Use your right leg as a reference. Make the leg long and then feel your spine be an elongation. Like a continuation of the hamstrings. Now reach your arms up and come to your lunge. Breathing into the lower lungs. Option, lean forward, arms reach back. Still a long spine, no collapsing. Option, arms to the ceiling. Lower your right knee to hover just above the ground. 2, 1, and take it forward to forward bend. Hands to the floor, right foot forward, and feet slightly separated. Just hang out here for a moment and breathe. Good. Roll up to standing. I'm going to adjust my mat. You don't have to, but it's just easier for you to see if there's a little more space. Good. Mountain pose. Simply let's ground and center with the balance pose. Take your left foot and take it into a tree, or like I'm doing here, into a half lotus. We're not adding on, so if you need to be near a wall but want to do half lotus, do that. All right, and release. Center. How you can center is you can simply think, I am grounded, I am centered. The body believes what the mind thinks. Other side. And release when you're done. Good. Step to the front of your mat. And we'll take it into warrior one. Right foot forward, left foot steps back. Imagine that we discussed the other day, your left heel is pressing into the edge of a wall, and then bend your front knee. Left arm wraps on the right, eagle arms. Press your elbows up. Breathe in between the shoulder blades. Good, now release and reach your arms behind you into a clasp. Lift the chest, straighten your front leg briefly and stretch back. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, bend your front knee and lower the chest down to the inside of the knee. Hang forward. Press through the feet, rise up again, and back to mountain pose. Take a breath. Right foot back, warrior one. Right arm under. Lift your elbows, challenge yourself. So if your elbows are low, you might not get a big stretch. Lift them up and the hands away from your forehead to get that shoulder stretch. Continuously press your right thigh bone back and firm the kneecap in. Good, now release, clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift up, straighten the front leg. On one of your exhales, lunge forward and fold in. Good job. This time, come up and just turn to the right. So we're sideways. Warrior two, turn right foot open. Widen your stance, arms out, and lunge into your right knee. So when you look down at your feet, your right heel is about in line with your left arch. Right knee stacked over ankle and not over the toes. And just 2-3 times, straighten your front knee and then sink back into it. Make your left leg super strong. So maybe next time you bend your right knee, also lower the right hand down toward the ankle or the forearm onto the thigh. Now notice I'm not reaching my hips way backward. Try to keep your tailbone somewhat between your feet, which is challenging if you're tight in the groin. That's very hard. Then put forearm to thigh. Press to warrior two again. And now straighten your front leg and just switch the position. Left foot out, right heel turns neutral. And lunge into warrior two. Straighten and bend the front knee a couple times. Maybe the next time, lower the left hand down. Rotate your tailbone in toward the midline of your mat. Press back to warrior two. And straighten your left leg. Good. Come to a closer stance. I'll turn to you. Oh, and grab your block. If you have it near you, you should by now. Just put it in front of you here. We'll do a little twist. So the legs are pretty straight here. Stand not in the heels, but in front of the heels and bend forward. Hands on the block. Now I want you to not round your back. So look up, lift the chest out so you feel your upper back long. Adjust the block accordingly. Maybe it needs to be high. Now right hand to block, left arm to the ceiling. Good. Switch. Good. Both hands to the block, fold in. Good. And then come all the way up. Turn the heels in, toes out, and squat down. Shoulders over hips. Take your hands at the heart. Just lift your heels 10 times. 2, 3, keep your balance. So brace that corset. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Straighten your legs and let's set up triangle. Left heel turns backward. Right foot adjusts to a 90. You know the pose. Come on and switch. Ready, come out. Good. We're going to go right into prayer twist. Right foot turns open. Widen your stance if you want. Turn into the back heel so you're in a lunge and prayer twist to the right. Back the belly button to the right. Use your core, guys. You can absolutely release at this point, or little offer. Unwind from the twist and put your fingertips to either side of that right foot so you're back in a lunge. Lift up your chest and pick up your left leg, standing split. I like to walk my hands forward a little bit, but try to keep them on the floor and see how high can you drive your left leg to the ceiling without lifting the left hip all that much. All right, now step the left foot way back into a lunge again. Finally, come back up and pivot on your feet so you're back in that wide-legged stance. Take a breath. Good. We're going to go into the twist on the other side. So turn your left foot open, turn this into a lunge, and prayer twist to your left. At some point unwind, frame the left foot and come to half split or simply release. Light on the hands. This is lower body. And step right foot back again. Come up into that lunge, and you're done. Good job. That's it for standing. Maybe shake it out for a moment. And let's go into our sequence of a hero pose. I'll adjust the camera slightly so you can set up hero. Most of you know the pose. If you're not doing hero, please lay on your belly and grab one ankle at a time. Follow me if you are not sure. So here's your hero, feet folded under. You're probably on the block. And I know some of you have a bolster, so feel free to use that if you want to lay back. Or if you don't need to sit on the block, you could lie with your upper back on the block. When you're done, carefully press up into your elbows, then your hands, and go back to down dog. And bring your right leg forward to pigeon whenever you're ready. Relax into your breaths. Once more, if you want to add on a quad stretch, grab that left ankle. Good. And come up and back to down dog. Vinyasa welcome, which just means you go to plank, you lower down, you press to an up dog or a cobra, and then back to a down dog, where you can set up pigeon on the left. Want to add on the quad stretch? Go for it. Good, and release. Let's come back to all fours. And then just stretch one foot back, hook the toes under, and push back so you get a little calf and toe stretch. You have to push into your hands and just drive your hips back. And switch. Good. Still on all fours, going into threading the needle. So sweep your left arm up and then thread it all the way through to the right. Like you're listening to the floor. Put your left ear on the floor or ear area and wrap your right arm around your back. I like to tuck my chin under. It feels better to be almost on the back of my head, but everyone's different. Some people, this does not feel good. It depends how broad your shoulders are. So if you do this from child's pose, it might feel more pleasant. Good, come up. And let's go other side. Right arm up and thread it to the left. Good. And unwind. If possible, sit onto the heels for a moment. Just rotate your wrists. And put your hands gently onto your shoulders and rotate your elbows in big loops. Reverse. Good. So I'm going to do a forearm plank, side plank, and I want to show you what we want to emphasize today, because you want to make sure this area is really working here. So plant your left forearm across the mat. Make sure your forearm isn't back here. Make it underneath, elbows right underneath your shoulder, right? Now I want you to take your right hand and gently wrap it around your left side ribs. Feel like you're pulling these ribs up and then come into your side plank. So that way you really integrate your obliques, your side core muscles into the stretch. Another thing, if you feel your butt is sticking back, press your hips forward. So you're literally like you're standing in mountain pose. Right arm up. Keep those ribs pulled in. Maybe even lift your right leg. Up to you. For 3, 2, 1, and let it go. Since we're so near the floor, let's do a twist. Lay all the way onto your left side. Bring your right knee in front of your navel and twist. Reach the right arm to the right. Unwind. And let's switch sides. I'm going to keep facing the camera. So same thing here, same setup. Left hand grabs the right ribs, pulls them in, and come to your side plank. Shoulders in line with your hips. Left arm can go up. Left leg can go up. Gently lower the hips. Then lower the shoulders. Lay down to your right side with your left knee coming over and twist left. All right, let's release and come up to a seated position. Step the soles of your feet together. Slide them forward a little and fold in. Let the shoulders, the upper mid, low back unwind. And let's come up. So the next one, if you're tight in the hip, hamstring area, you might be happier on a block, but let's just try it. Right leg, extend it forward. Left foot, step it in. But from the front, I don't want your foot right by your inner thigh. Step it outward a little, so almost like your outer foot is in line with your outer hips here. Good. Step the foot as far in as you can, so there's actually some weight on it. Now inhale and fold into the right leg. Slowly come out, cradling that left leg. So put the left foot into the crease of the right elbow. Hug it like you're rocking a baby. Now, that might not be possible for you, so just use your hands to rock your lower leg. Try to have your foot flexed to firm up the muscles going up into the knee. Just rock it, working that left hip. Good. And we're going to do double pigeon in a moment. For now, let that go, shake it out. Good. Other side. Step your right foot up, right in front of your sitting bone somewhere. When you're set up, inhale. Turn your torso slightly left over that left leg and fold. Come up carefully and cradle the baby. Okay, release, shake out your legs. And the last thing we do is our double pigeon. So cross the right ankle over left knee, stack right knee over left ankle. So your two lower legs look like stacked logs. But if that's not for you, you don't have to cross your right ankle on top of the left knee. Instead, put it in front. So you're still having a cross-legged position. You see how that looks different? You try to have 90-degree angles with your legs as much as possible. Folding in is an option. But 3 more breaths. All right, release and switch. Once done, shake it out. Good, let's lie on the belt. Have your belt near you for later. But now just lie down and relax for a moment. Good, step your feet on the mat. And if you have your block handy, you can do the version where your inner thighs are squeezing into the block slightly. And we're just going to lift up into bridge. You want to lift one leg here. Just pick up one foot. At some point, switch. Good. And when you're ready, release down. Drop your knees apart. Breathe. Good. Coming into shoulder stand, you can do a supported shoulder stand like I do, or a full shoulder stand. You can just use your block for the support. Take maybe 30 seconds or so for your shoulder stand. If you're up here, you can stretch your legs out apart. All right, and when you're done, calm down. Go back to a short shavasana. Just take a couple deep breaths. Now add on fish position. As you know, you can use the block and put it underneath your upper back, lower than the neck, but definitely somewhere across your rib cage, or bring your hands close underneath you, press into your elbows, and lift your chest. Down when you're ready. Roll your head side to side for a moment. Back to center, and let's finish with the belt. Put it around your right foot. Send the leg up. Lower the leg over to the right. Keep your hips square. And by the way, if this is a hard pose for you, you have a couple options. You can use both hands on the belt. If you're pretty flexible, but your leg won't go completely on the floor, use your block somewhere to support your upper underside. And then let's switch the same leg to the opposite side. Come back and switch to the left leg. Do that whole sequence with the second leg now. Leg can go left at some point. Bring it up and bring the leg also right. Bring back. Bend both knees into your chest to finish. Maybe make some circles across your sacrum. And when you're done, maybe you want to add a final twist. Please do that before you set up your Shavasana pose. If you're already in Shavasana, it really is a yoga pose. So try not to get distracted or carried away, but just turn your attention inward. Feel that whole inner environment that's always going on. It's always available. And create that nice rhythmic breath with ease. Let that be enough. Spend some time here. Deepen your next breath. Wiggle the fingers, the toes. And stretch your arms overhead. Bend your knees in. Just take a moment to check in with the maybe slightly calmer version of you. And roll to the right. And sit up. Right. Just finish our centering exercises here. Place your hands at the heart, right in the center. Bow your head. Namaste.